Good evening, and welcome to Aislin's Enchanted Path. Tonight I'm sharing a gentle but powerful spell that might have a place in your Book of Shadows, a spell for dispelling nightmares. Whether you're seeking restful sleep, protection from troubling dreams, or simply a way to bring a little more peace to your night, this simple ritual can help. Let's walk through what you'll need, how to perform it, and the intention behind each element. So on your screen now is the spell page I created for this particular spell. It can easily fit into a Book of Shadows, and if you check the description, you will note that there is a link to my Facebook page where you can view and even save that image yourself. The design reflects the energy of the spell, soothing, protective, and a little bit dreamy. It is pasted onto a white background, so it's easy for you to print and use. Now for this spell, you are going to need just 4 items. You will need parchment paper to write your spell and to give it form. You'll be burning this piece of paper, so it's all right to use whatever you have. You can use a piece of loose leaf if you like. You can use a piece of cardstock if you like something with a little stiffness to it. You can use any bit of paper you have. It doesn't have to be special. You're also going to need some red rose petals. Now, I am not going to be using all of this. I only need a little bit here in my burning dish. You're also going to need a blue spell candle. Now, this is traditional. This is a more traditional spell candle. But instead of this, I'm actually going to recommend you use a little birthday candle. That's just a blue birthday candle. Its flame burns blue. It's really cute. I really like it. So I actually recommend you use those. They don't burn as long. They're pretty quick. Now, as for symbology, the red rose petals are symbolic of love and emotional healing. Their gentle energy helps soothe the heart and the mind, making them a good choice for this spell. The blue spell candle represents tranquility, sleep, and dream work. This color reinforces your desire for calm. It doesn't matter what the shade of blue is, so this is darker than that, that's true. But it's all right to use a darker color or a lighter color as fits your needs. You're also going to need a few amethyst crystals. Now, you can have them loose. You can have them loose in a jar or a bottle, or you can have larger chunks of amethyst that you place near your spell working. I'm going to leave mine in the jar, and I like to place mine near the candle. You can also instead place them near your burning dish. You can lay these things out on your altar or your bedside table, whatever space feels sacred and quiet to you. A picnic table in the backyard works. In our case, I would have been on a picnic table out of doors. However, it is starting to rain, so I've moved into the gazebo. So whatever space works for you. So, what else are you going to need? You are going to need a burning dish. In my burning dish, I have put some charcoal to light. You don't have to do that. You can just put the petals in when the time comes. You do not have to use charcoal. I'm going to, just to speed up the burning, but this is going to get lit on fire and put into that dish anyway, so your herbs will end up burning. I like to use a little charcoal. You don't have to. You can simply buy one of those discs if you like. You can divide that disc up if it's too much at a time, but you can also just put your herbs directly into your burning dish. Now, I am using one of my small cauldrons because they are heat proof. They have 3 little legs to keep them off the table, but you should use whatever you have that is safe for burning, because you will be having a little bit of burning material in there. So what are we going to do now? We are set. We have all our materials. Make sure your candle is upright and ready for lighting. First, you want to take your parchment and write your spell clearly. You don't have to use fancy calligraphy or a quill pen or anything like that. You can simply write it down. A regular pen or pencil and a piece of paper works just fine. You don't have to get too fancy. You can decorate the paper. Now, I'm not an artist, to be very, very clear. I am no artist, so my little decorations do not really look very good, but you can decorate the page if you like. You do not have to. You can put a couple of stickers on it if that's what you like, or you can just write your spell on the paper. So what does this say? I'm not going to make you read this. My penmanship is bad. So what does it say? It says, "Away from me, evil dreams, for all is not as it seems. Away from me, leave my sight, allow me peace through this night. Nightmares be gone." So that is all that says. I know it's difficult to read. My penmanship is not wonderful. So what you're going to do now, after you have done that, place that near your other spell components. You're going to take some of your rose petals. You don't need very many. All right, you can use as many as you like, really. We're going to put some of our rose petals in amongst the charcoal. I'm not using very many. Like I said, you don't need a ton. So I'm going to use a charcoal disc and give it a bit of a light. All right, we're just going to get that going. And yes, you can use anything you like to light it. So I'm using, in this case, it's lit, but I am using, in this case, just oh, now it doesn't want to work. There it goes. But I am just using a lighter, and that works just fine for your purposes. All right, you can use a lighter, you can use a fire starter, whatever you have, whatever works for you. They'll burn, at least in part, when you add the burning paper anyway, so it doesn't matter. So then we are going to position our amethyst nearby. Where do you want it? It should be cleansed and charged. We will cover that in another video. You can use larger or smaller crystals to your heart's content. You could put smaller crystals like these around the base of the candle if you like. I'm choosing to leave them in the jar because I have cleansed and consecrated my individual crystals and the jars, and at this point I can just cleanse and consecrate the jars. So you can do that. Now you're going to light the candle. All right, and in my case, these candles, there, it's lit. Now you might not see it be that lit because it burns blue, so it might not show up great on camera. It might not show up great. Let's see if I can use the back of this to kind of show you so it stands out a little more. But it burns blue. Once you've lit the candle, you want to take a moment, breathe deeply. Feel the energy of the items you've gathered, center yourself. Then speak your spell, either aloud or in your head. All right, speak it slowly, intentionally, and let each word carry weight. You would speak your spell. Away from me, evil dreams, for all is not as it seems. Away from me, leave my sight. Allow me peace through this night. Nightmares be gone. Take a moment and breathe. Then you can either fold or roll or just light the edge, it doesn't matter, of your parchment. You are going to light it on fire from your candle. Make sure it's well lit. And drop it into the dish. Drop it into the dish. And if you need to, you can use your lighter or use your candle to relight your paper. It's a little windy in the gazebo today. So we are just taking a moment. Dropping it in the dish. And just pay attention to your spell. You want to focus on the idea of the spell. All right, you don't want to get distracted. You sit calm, quiet, and focus on the intention of the spell. What a spell is it is a framework for intention. It is not a replacement for you doing what you need to do to obtain the point of the spell. It's simply a framework. I'm just going to push that down. Ouch. Push it down so it doesn't pop up anywhere. But the spell is a framework for obtaining what you want. It's not designed to work without effort from you. So what you're going to do now is focus deeply, clearly on the point of the spell, in this case, dispelling nightmares, having a restful sleep, not being woken up 6 or 7 times by terrible dreams. Focus. Focus as the candle burns. Now, I like to use birthday candles because they burn out in short order. I do not have to wait too long. I don't have to snuff them, but you can. You can snuff out your candle if that is what you're hoping to do. You do not have to let it burn down. All right, especially if you're where I am and it's a little windy. That's what we have going on right now. The candle is still burning, but it's burning a little slower because of the wind currently. So you can let it burn down, or you can snuff it out. Now, after your spell is done, again, I'm going to put the spell page up on the screen, but after your spell is done, the amethyst and other physical components, so not the herb, so the herb has primarily burned, which I shouldn't be doing that with my fingers, but the herb has primarily burned away. You should not stick your fingers inside the cauldron. But the reusable parts of the spell might be your crystals. These can be cleansed and reused. You don't have to get rid of them. You do not need to buy new amethyst crystals every time you want to perform a spell. You should also think about the timing for a spell. You would ideally best perform this spell during a waning moon when we release what no longer serves us, but it can be really used any time that makes sense to you. Anytime you need a little peace in the evening. If you'd like the printable spell featured in this video, you'll find the link to my Facebook page where I will put it up as a file or an image. I'm not sure yet. I haven't done it yet, but I will. Add it to your Book of Shadows if you like. You might frame it and put it near your altar if it's something you use a lot, or just save the image in your phone. Whatever works for you. Not everyone deals with printed material anymore. So we will be covering a spell like this every second month. I do a Book of Shadows page once a month, but we'll only address a spell every second month. In between, we will cover other materials that you might like to include in your Book of Shadows. Some of them will be informational, some of them will be practical bits that you can incorporate into your Book of Shadows if you choose. So stay tuned on the third Friday of every month for more Book of Shadows content. Thank you for joining me here at Aislin's Enchanted Path. May your dreams be sweet, your sleep deep, and your nights protected. Blessed be.